Hello, everyone, and welcome to CorridorEZ, Change Your Civil 3D software for land development projects. My name is Juliana, and I work in marketing here at MicroCAD. And today's presenters are Director of Sales Alex von Swoboda and Applications Engineer Brian Caudell from Civil Survey Applications. At today's webinar, Alex and Ryan will demonstrate how CorridorEZ for Civil 3D will easily reduce time for layout a subdivision road network from hours or days to just minutes. Throughout the webinar, you can ask a question at any given point on the left-hand corner. You can ask Alex or Ryan any questions or to revisit a step. This is your time and we want you to make the most of it. And in the upper left-hand corner, you will find links to our social media, website, and YouTube channel. Also, make sure to check our YouTube channel. We post all of our webinars there at the end, so you can share with colleagues or rewatch it on your own time. And without further ado, we'll pass it on to Alex.
All right. Thank you, Juliana. We're ready to go with this exciting presentation. So let me switch over and hopefully everybody be able to see the screen here. You can confirm with that. And I'm going to go to a full screen right now.
Yep.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah, great.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining today. We really appreciate it. We're really glad to be partnering with MicroCAD Training and Consulting, but we are Civil Survey Applications, and we make a product called CorridorEZ for Civil 3D. So very excited about showing you this. I've been in the civil CAD industry for too long. I started off with Sofdesk way back in New Hampshire in the late 90s, developing the early civil products that then became part of the Autodesk products, and I joined Autodesk for 18 years working on Civil 3D and InfraWorks and other products like that. So it's been interesting in the business that we haven't seen a lot of real new innovation, but this new tool that got me excited when I joined here with Civil Survey Applications, I really felt made a difference and moved the needle to help productivity. So that's what we're going to show you today, CorridorEZ for Civil 3D, and it's one of the products we make, and it increases your productivity by automating the most complex part of Civil 3D, and that is corridor modeling. So over and over today, I hear from our customers that their challenge is they've got work coming in, they've got backlog, but they just can't hire skilled staff to go and run the software. So that's their challenge, that's their problem. So what we look at this as a tool to get more productivity, more than 10 times productivity if you're doing land development design using Civil 3D. So that could help you with that problem and get more out of your existing software with the people that already know it and use it today. So that's kind of the background. So with me today is Ryan Caudell. He's our application specialist for Civil Survey Applications. He's been in the industry as well for many, many years and using Civil 3D and other products. So he's going to be doing the heavy lifting today with the actual demonstration. I'm going to start the presentation today with just giving you an overview of Civil Survey Applications and CorridorEZ. Then we'll jump right into the demonstration. We're going to do a high-level demonstration, not dig into the weeds by anything, and then we'll talk about the pricing and handle some Q&A and our special promo for the day that Juliana will bring up. All right, so a little bit about us at Civil Survey Applications. We are the leading global provider of software applications and services to the civil engineering and survey industry. So you could see our lead product for today is CorridorEZ for Civil 3D. We also have a bigger product that goes beyond corridors, and that's civil site design. And then for the surveyors, we have Stringer Topo. So we have customers really excited about how this has helped them really get and handle these projects. Rhonda Hurst was a webinar we did, and you can watch the recording on that. She's with Icon in the Dallas, Texas area, and she talks about what they did when they first found this product. But the real subject matter today that we want to show you, which is so exciting, is using artificial intelligence, AI, for civil engineering, and which helps us design a subdivision in minutes. So what that's called is called Project Assist. It's the AI engine, and it automatically uses your civil 3D alignments, or you can create your own alignments in CorridorEZ. But the main part is once you set it up, you can build out roads, curb returns, turning lanes, cul-de-sacs quickly and easily. And that's what's so exciting about it. So it learns as you do this over and over again. It'll learn your steps in your workflow, and that's what Russ Nicloy here talks about in his comment about using the product. All right, so the other big part of this is, we totally recommend you go and get some training from MicroCAD Training and Consulting. That's big, but to support that, we have a vast library of videos on YouTube and other places that Rhonda really commented that really helped a lot of her EITs and other folks get up to speed fast. So that's something definitely I want to point out because a lot of our customers talk about that. All right, so what we're going to show you today is how CorridorEZ for Civil 3D really boosts your productivity. So the nice part about it, it already uses your existing Civil 3D settings, and you using the product of Civil 3D, the resource that understands that. So you don't have to create a lot of defaults anymore. We're using that from Civil 3D, and that's our big advantage. So again, you can go and apply CorridorEZ to your alignments if you already created in Civil 3D. And then with the defaults in there, using Project Assist, you can click one click, and in minutes have all the curb returns and bus bays, islands, cul-de-sacs, all these different things created for you automatically, and Ryan's going to show you all that. So everything here too is very connected. So if you change one road that has an intersection with the other, it'll dynamically make that change if it needs to. So everything is linked, and I will update the respective profiles. Also too, we have a lot of really good tools like for an alignment, you can do a cut and fill zero balance tool, do slope, grade, water drop analysis, stopping and passing site distance analysis, and probably the most powerful thing you'll see Ryan use a lot today is the 3D model viewer. So that's all part of the package. It's not extra. So the big thing is if you've got multiple monitors, you can place all the different screens, your profiles, cross sections, your 3D rendering, all the different screens, and work and see as you make changes, see everything update directly from that. So in our model viewer, it does real-time visualization as you do your design. One of the newest things we've just added here is our software is 4K monitor compliant. So all the dialog boxes and things will react properly in a 4K environment. So this is what we're talking about. We ask customers to do is take an existing project and compare it. We did one here. In fact, Ryan did it with one project that was done in Civil 3D. Took him about 3.8 hours, and then he did it in 10 minutes with CorridorEZ. So that's the real power here. We didn't have to create the alignments. We took the Civil 3D alignments, and already that was a start. But we did 7 roads, 10 intersections, 2 cul-de-sacs, 3 widenings, 1 turning lane. And all that was done, and we're going to show you how that was done today as well. So again, you can go through here and make changes in CorridorEZ, have everything update automatically. That's the power, so it works just like Civil 3D. So here's where we're going to turn this over now, and I'm going to hand it over to our superstar here, uh, Ryan, and he will take over. So, Ryan, I'm going to stop sharing.
Okay. Let's see. Now, do you see my screen?
I see your mail.
You see my mail? That's what I thought, but let me try this again here.
Let me try the entire screen instead of just one tab.
Yeah, that's. Oh, here we go. All right. How's that?
There we go.
No more mail.
No, your wife said something about picking up dinner tonight, but anyways.
I'll send that out to everybody. Well, thank y'all for your time. I'm going to give kind of a high level scoop of how CorridorEZ works and really what you need to do to get started. A real mini background of myself. I'm a Civil 3D user. I've been using it really since 2008, and I came across a product that is actually called Civil Site Design a few years ago through a customer of mine. So I provide CAD support, and they needed support with civil site design. And they showed me a lot of these powerful tools, and I was pretty blown away. And that's how I got connected with civil survey applications. From that point, I don't know, I would say, 6 months ago, the modeling portion of it was broken out and called CorridorEZ. So that's what we're looking at today. When you install CorridorEZ, you get a one ribbon menu here, and probably the most powerful thing that was brought in is having a tool space very similar to Civil 3D. A lot of right-click menus in here, which actually is a big bonus because we had a lot of different menu tabs that offered all the same, all the same tools. And so we're going to go through that. But let me give you a quick background on the file that we're actually going to be running this on. This is completely a Civil 3D generated file. It has a Civil 3D natural ground surface, and it's got Civil 3D alignments. As we talk about the alignments, some key things about the way the alignments need to be configured. If you're modeling a T intersection, you would have your alignment basically going perpendicular to the other, like main road alignment in this case, or a crossing, two crossing alignments. That would be your four-way intersection. So those are the requirements for the software to be able to model your intersections correctly. Some other items would be such as, I've got a right turn lane, and you'll notice that in the alignment name, I'm calling it a turning lane. I've got, a bus bay, and if I hover over that, you can see that I'm indicating that alignment as being a bus bay. So, you just call out the alignments as they are. And I'm going to go ahead and give you a quick example before we get to the Project Assist part of the software. Over to the right in the tool space here, as I was saying, you can right click on the main heading here, and you'll see that you've got drawing settings. You've got a place to set your Civil 3D styles. I can keep going down to the bottom. You can even import, Google imagery, Bing imagery, or even if you have a Nearmap subscription, you can plug that in and pull imagery from that as well. So that's actually where I got this image in the background. Now, the next item that you would normally think about is, your templates, your cross sections of the roads. Similar to Civil 3D, where we've got basically where we would create assemblies. This is the same representation in CorridorEZ as templates. So as I kind of go through the templates, I'm getting a nice preview. If there's a template I need to go and modify, I can right click, edit template, and wait for the window to pop up. There's so much you can do in here that, you know, again, this is kind of a high level presentation. So we've got, you know, pretty much 4 different areas that you can look at in this window. We've got a left side and a right side, basically to build out your left and your right of the template. All the controls to building the template out is here on the right side. You've got create section, which would be your pavement. You can create curb, which would build out your curbs. You've got daylighting conditions left and right. You've got template options. It's just, there's so much you can do here. You can access all your different templates also from this window, or you can even click through each one. And probably the last thing I'll just point out in here is that you can also right click and you can do stuff like, let me edit the section. So now you're editing the vertical information on this template. You can assign materials, and this is completely customizable to the company needs and the standards that they're, you know, in the region that they're in. To learn more about this, if you install a trial of CorridorEZ, keep an eye out for these little icons here that look like a, you know, like an old video recorder. That gets you to all the e-learning on the specific, you know, tools that's in here. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel this. Now, the next thing, I'll go ahead and minimize that too. Okay, the next item are the alignments. So you can see in the tool space here, I've got a set of alignments. And as I hover over the alignments, you can see that they highlight in the screen. They match the same list of alignments that you see in Civil 3D because they are the same right here. So you got the same list. If you came after and you created an alignment in Civil 3D, then we got this refresh button in the tool space that you can click on, and it'll pull that back into the CorridorEZ tool space that you can work with. Now, I am going to go ahead and just create a street. So if I right click on this particular alignment here, I'm going to go to create road. You can see we got that same library of templates. It's going to base your vertical design. You're going to get a best fit profile that's going to be utilized in the existing surface. And I'm just going to go ahead and click OK. So I'm just running with the defaults. As soon as that is generated here, let me kind of scoot stuff around. This is the fun part. It's like putting a puzzle together here. There we go. So I've got a road string. So a road string is tying all of the codes that were used in the template when we talk about codes. And actually, you can kind of see them in the preview. Let's see if I can get that preview back. Let me go ahead and go here. You'll notice that there are these codes for the left and for the right of your template. And so we got the center line. The first code, left and right, is an ETW, or edge of travel way. And I've got certain codes that are actually turned off from the preview, but these codes, back out of here now. These codes string the line work to make your road section here. And you can see that you got your daylighting on the outside. Now, if I go through my profile, you can see we've got a tracker. I'm kind of tracking right in that intersection. I can go ahead and, you know, raise and lower this elevation. And whenever I place it, you'll see that that model is now getting updated. with that change. I can also right click in this profile and can see also the change by section. So as I go in here and I modify it, maybe if I get into a cut situation, I can pick that location point there. And you're seeing the changes here. Also, another way of looking at this is through the model viewer. I need to go ahead and get that surface. So we have a surface that's being generated off the road. Let's go ahead and rebuild it. You'll see the contour show up here. There we go. So when I go back into the model viewer, we can have this open at the same time. Go ahead and turn that model on so we can see it. So that's the road design that we've got going on here. And if I go ahead and raise and lower the model, if I create a fill, now you see that even in the model viewer, it raised everything up. So we've got a dynamic surface, and that includes even at intersections. I'm going to go ahead and generate one other road here real quick, and then we'll go into Project Assist. So if I get into Create Road, so we've got another road design. So at this intersection here, we can actually see that if I was to, again, pull this other road, they would be linked together as well. But let me go ahead and also put in the intersection real quick. So if I go in, and that's going to be what we call a network string curb return. I can choose to do one curb return at a time. Close that vertical grading. All right, so we got curb return. So if I want to do this one quadrant right here, I can set my radius. You'll notice how it's creating the alignment and it's doing a design at that intersection right there. And if I wanted to see it in the vertical grading editor, I go ahead and tick that box on, and I can see how that intersection is tied to these two roads. Incoming, outgoing road at that intersection. And as I move my cursor around, I can actually see that tracker in the plan view of how that's going together. Now, if you got a lot of curb returns, then we could do auto curb return. I'll find out where you're at. Oh, I'm still looped in the command. Sorry about that. Let me get out of the command. Apply my radius so I can see it built that in. And if we take a look at that again in the model viewer, you know, you got a clean intersection here. Some of that water, the water drop features, you know, you can apply a water drop even in the viewer to see, you know, your high and low. You can even go and access your profile information just by right clicking in the viewer. So you can get right back to your design. If you want to get to the cross section, just right click away and you've got access to the cross section. Just to open up your mind a little bit, you can even right click in the section view, and you got variations for basically for targeting. If I wanted to, you know, delete the sidewalk on the right side, I can, you know, go ahead and say, yeah, anything past the my sidewalk enter code. I want to remove it, and you see I just dropped off that entire sidewalk, and there's the model that took that sidewalk out. So a lot of power that you can do in this. Now, this was just 2 roads, but let's just go ahead and look at this as a mass project now. So I'm going to jump into Project Assist, and we've got all kinds of stuff going on in here. I want to build out my 2 cul-de-sac areas in this particular demonstration. I've got a widening, bus bay, right turn lane, even have an island. So let's go ahead and build this out. So I'm going right into Project Assist. So here we can go ahead and plug in, a project name. You can basically fill this out, and that's really for a PDF report that's going to be generated after it's done building. You'll see that it's finding that there's 16 civil 3D alignments, and there's 1 existing ground surface. That's the surface. I'm just going to continue. At this stage, CorridorEZ is looking at each of the alignments and then trying to assign a design type for each one. And so this is really the AI component. As you start to assign different tag words like widening, turning lane, bus bay, and you start assigning what type of an alignment in the design process you're going to use it as. All of this is getting stored in the memory of the machine learning portion of CorridorEZ. So I'm at a point now where I don't even need to select anything. It's already selected. I will say though, as you kind of hover around in here, well, I used to see that everything highlighted in the screen. There we go. Now the highlight is starting to happen. But you can highlight those different areas to see what alignment you're working in. I'm going to go ahead and confirm. So I made no changes. I literally just clicked through 2 boxes, no changes. So now I can go through and it's starting kind of alphabetical order with the alignments. What do I want to do with Allen Road? Well, I know that I've got a cul-de-sac at the end, so I'm going to add a cul-de-sac. It's going to be at the end of the alignment. We have the ability here to select a different template if we wanted to. And I'm just going to continue to go through the process here, which really there's only one other cul-de-sac I want to get to. Now I do have these widenings, and with widenings, you have a lot of other different controls. Right now, it's just going to take your template and it's going to maintain that road crossfall and hit this alignment, which that's pretty typical. But you can actually go through and break it down further by creating another profile string. So you have something else that now is creating a horizontal and vertical control for you. Or you can even go in and apply a whole template on it, something separate. So you can get to really kind of any type of design need that you, are kind of looking for here. I'm going to keep it set to that. And let me get to my Sydney Court. That's this road here. We want another cul-de-sac at the end of Sydney Court. There we go. Scroll down toward the end. So we're going to apply a 30-foot radius on all intersections. We got another option here that is create all curb return as saddles. This is the same terminology in Civil 3D as what we call crowned roads. All crowned roads, we can just tick box this option. Or if you have an area that's going to be crowned, but everything else is going to be, as it is with a primary and a secondary road tying into it, we can choose this option and say, okay, yeah, I want to make this quadrant crowned and I want this to be crowned. So you can go in and you can specify what intersections you want crowned. We're going to get 3 different surfaces built. But these are actually, you always get a total model surface that happens, but then it's going to apply a design model surface to incorporate all the cul-de-sacs and, any odd parts related to your road. And then it's going to use the islands will use that surface to drape from and then produce an island basically with island surface. So pretty wild that we're just starting with alignments and a natural ground surface. That's it. And we get 3 surfaces out after this step and all the profiles that we can then start designing, all the vertical design to. We can also go ahead and open or attach a plugin. And in this case, we've got one plugin that's opening the model viewer. So when it's all done and built, the model viewer will open up and we can kind of take a look at the what the design looks like. I'm also gonna have it where when the model viewer opens up, I want it to pull a draped image on the natural ground surface. So I can go here, pick that surface up, and I'm gonna go ahead and just compute. And let me kind of zoom in here just so we can see all the different things that are happening. So as soon as I hit compute, you'll see that it's going down that whole workflow that we did from, Allen Road alphabetically. When it gets to something like DeLon Boulevard, it's going to run that cross section through it. It's then going to stretch the edge of travelway code to match all of the widenings that are happening, which is the right turn lane. We've got the bus bay, and then you've got the widening going into DeLon Boulevard. Then it's going to start cutting out all the intersections. One thing you'll notice here, and you'll only notice it once you kind of work with the software, but if you look at this intersection over here, you can see the edge of travelway. That's that line that's running on the edge of DeLon. That means that in this case, the main road is crowned and your secondary road stops right there at the edge of travelway of DeLon. If I look over at Sydney Court intersection in Marin Street, you'll notice how, to get back to it, got the report that popped up. In the report, as you're scrolling through it, you can compare what it did in the design, and you have the ability to go in over to the right and click the link to each e-learning video so that you can understand, basically how to perform the step without using something like Project Assist. So the report's a great feature to have. I'm going to go ahead and close the report. We've now got the model viewer opened as well. So you'll notice, unlike the object viewer, the model viewer is really nice because it actually shows you where your alignments are. It's also nice in a lot of other ways, like, the right clicking. You have, if you need to see a cross section of the road, say if I go over here, I want to see the cross section of that road, I can display cross section, and I can see exactly what's going on in that design. Now that we've done all of this, you can go into editing any profile that you need to continue your design with. There is so much power in this. I used to think that I would just use, at the time it was civil site design. I would just use civil site design to get me to where I can just get my profile as Civil 3D and then continue to edit in Civil 3D. But some things to note in here that's a little different. There is similarities. I would say first, let me go with the similarity, is you've got like grid editor. So this is something that we're all pretty familiar with in Civil 3D as well. We've got basically the same type of a tool to see, they call it distance, but for us it's station, elevation, and then you got your slopes. But in here you got something like auto profile. We don't have this in Civil 3D. And you can actually match certain parts of your surface, or I should say your profile, to match on a surface. Constraints, which we can talk about that in another time. Profile strings. So it's just a lot of stuff that you can do here. Also, again, note, if you're exploring these options on your own, you've got that button on the right, the lower right corner here, to get into the e-learning. I would also say if you wanted to do an auto balance, maybe you design out your road and you want to just try to end up with no cut or fill on the road. I could say, okay, I want to try to have no cut or fill in this area. Then the software will, CorridorEZ will go through and redesign considering what your depths are of the sections and make the adjustment needed for a balanced road with that ground. You can also get into a report here, a volume report. So this report right now is by section. You can also click to see a material report based on this road. Down toward the bottom, you can even go and look at a calculation that includes all the roads. So just by doing that, now I'm seeing the calcs for all the roads. This report can be, exported out. And right now it says cubic feet. There's one of the tools in here. We should be able to change that out to cubic yards. I have to hunt it down, but it's might actually be this one. Yeah, right there, cubic yards. Save settings. And let me just kind of close it. And if I get back into that report, now I'm seeing cubic yards. All right, so that didn't take too long to get to this point, but now we're ready to really kind of look at how do we get this information back over into Civil 3D. So the first thing would be, maybe you want to carry a surface over into Civil 3D. So all of those tools to kind of get you bridged back into Civil 3D appear at the bottom of the tool space, which is really nice. It kind of put a cluster of tools in here. Say that I want to have the surface with the island as my Civil 3D surface. So I'll go ahead and pick that, click OK. Civil 3D just brought that surface in. If I actually look at it in Civil 3D, you can see how clean that is compared to doing it with feature lines and how long it would take to do it with feature lines, or even if you're doing the corridors, you got to have a lot of, it just takes time to do these intersections, and you got to have a lot of that design done already before you can even get it modeled. Here, I was able to get a model, and now I can do my detail design. So we've got the Civil 3D surface. The next thing we want to do is export out all of the profiles into Civil 3D profiles. This was another thing I saw years ago, and I was like, wow. Of course, now this is improved a lot because you click it, it used to just drop them all in, and now we have the ability to assign different styles to everything. So it's really powerful. I'm going to select an insertion point location. I'll set a spacing between the grids, and I'm going to go ahead and just click on create update profile views. Let that run. All right, it's done. And you can see all the profiles that just kicked in there. I got all of them in there. And now we're back to Civil 3D. I could just grip edit and do my design in Civil 3D. And if you choose to go that route, the next icon over in the tool space is taking your Civil 3D design and then updating CorridorEZ design. So you can easily work in one environment, make changes and kick it out, or go to the one you feel comfortable with and reverse it. So they work kind of together. Now, let's talk about how we get this into a corridor, because that's what people really like to see. You don't have to do a corridor. If you feel like you're getting great performance, you've got really everything that you would normally get from a corridor, then this might be your stopping point. So even though the software is called CorridorEZ, this may be your stopping point because of the performance. If you do need the corridor, we'll go right into corridor model, create corridor. You can choose what model you want to build the corridor from, and I'll just call this, I'll just take new off of it. And from here, I'm just going to go ahead and create corridor. Now, I guess before I do that, because we have a little time, there is conversion settings. And this is really where the magic happens related to these codes, the ETW, you're seeing ETW again, and how it knows what assembly to use. Now, if you are an organization that has some custom assemblies, you can assign a code to your custom assembly by importing a package, or packet, I guess they call it packets, and then select it out. But this is pulling from Civil 3D's subassembly library. This was not, I didn't have to build this conversion file. This is already provided in the software, so really, ideally, you would never have to mess with it unless if you're trying to customize something. So create corridor, and let me kind of, is it too late? No, I can get in here a little bit so we can see what's going on when it's creating. There we go. So here we go. It's funny that I did that because now I need to be able to drop my my sub-assemblies off. But you will, if you kind of look at the background, there's an alignment now that's being added to help with the construction of the all the transitioning going on with the corridor targeting and everything. Let me go ahead and drop the assemblies here. So consider it like this, each region that's being built has its own, assembly. So if you wanted to go basically and make a change in one region, instead of having a small library of assemblies, which actually I'm very accustomed to having one full road for everything. In CorridorEZ, it breaks it up, and you could just make tweaks in one area without affecting everything else. So that's kind of a pro, I would say, over it being so having a smaller library of assemblies. But I know that's kind of everyone's going to have a little different take on that part. But at least you'd have to build them out. So all the modeling's happening right now. It's going through assigning the frequencies based on CorridorEZ and the way that it set up its frequencies. So it's actually putting all that in there. Here you can see the all-crown road opposed to a road that's just tying into a primary road. But if I take this, and really the software is building, CorridorEZ is really building this out the way that you would build it out. Now, if you do catch, some little issues like this, that's easy enough. You just grip edit and bring that back. So it's easy to make the edit. Bring it back a little bit more here. There we go. So I can just scoot that region back and get it out of that cul-de-sac. That was easy. Now, if you needed to make a change to the cul-de-sac design, you've got your cul-de-sac networks right here. That's Sydney. So I can say, okay, let me edit cul-de-sac. And so I'm right into the utility that completely works with this cul-de-sac. And I'll bring this, I kind of pop this up for everyone to look at to give you an idea that there's a lot of different ways that you can design a cul-de-sac. And if none of the options here is what you want to do, you can always create your own alignment and then assign it to that. You can also go right into the vertical, rating and design it. But it's a lot of stuff you can do in here. I'm going to close this out as well. Let me go to the object viewer real quick, the old school object viewer. And we can feel the delay a little bit here. But everyone likes to look at this up close. But that's your whole corridor model. Just kind of blows me away with how fast, even someone who doesn't know anything about a corridor can actually get to this point. And I think the last thing I'm going to open up, just to kind of close it off, is the corridor parameters, because I know that if you're a Civil 3D user, you usually like to see what's in the parameters. What is it doing? And I got that lag. How funny! You get into Civil 3D and you already feel a lag. There we go. Let's close that out. Get out of there. There we go. Okay. So let me get into the parameters real quick, and then after that, I think we can kind of open it up for any kind of feedback. So
I'll go back and fill a couple. I'll review a couple slides, Ryan.
Okay, cool. So give me 1 second here, and I'll get this returned to you. Oh, that's why. Wrong tool space. Okay. Yeah, so here are the properties. I think anybody that does corridors knows the task that it would take to build this out, and how fast it was done in a program that really kind of automated a lot of this for them. So, all right. Well, I will stop sharing and I'll pass it back off to you, Alex.
Okay. I'll start sharing. Can you see that, Ryan?
All yours.
All right. Can you see the screen, my screen?
Yeah.
Great. All right. Just to finish it up here, thanks for everybody for hanging in there. It's been very exciting to show this. So here's CorridorEZ is a subscription-based offering. So it's $795 for a 1-year single-user license. And that also does include a home license here. So any maintenance or technical support is all part of that. And as I talked about, we have access to that e-learning portal that we use. So that's the offer for CorridorEZ. Just wanted to let everybody know, if you're going to Autodesk University this November, we are exhibitor. We're going to be at booth 484 at AU in Las Vegas. So we'll see you there. You can drop by and take a look there if you want to say hi. So just wanted to go through and answer any quick questions that people have. And I guess, Juliana, anybody?
Thank you, Ryan and Alex, for that wonderful presentation. And yeah, as a reminder for everyone, you can ask a question on the left-hand corner. The first question I have is, does EC use your existing Civil 3D design standards?
Yeah, great question, and jump in here, Ryan, whenever you need to. But the answer is yes. That's the beauty about what you've already done. We're not asking you to change anything that you already have.
I think I lost you guys. Do you hear me?
Oh, I can hear
Ryan
you.
or Alex?
Yeah.
I cannot hear any of you. Sorry.
Can you hear me? Hello?
You can't hear? I can hear you, Ryan. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
To answer that question, the answer is yes. And also, there are design. I see this as being a kind of a two-answer question. Part one would be that if you are starting off with a Civil 3D template, a company template, you can tie your styles
Sorry, everyone.
to.
Please give us 1 minute while we solve this technical issue, and we'll be back. Please hold on there.
She can't hear us at all. All right, keep going, Ryan.
Well, I don't know if anybody else can hear us.
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. Let me stop sharing here.
Oh, there you go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, should I repeat the question?
Okay. Yeah, so
Yes.
let me wrap up with that answer real quick. And I did get a response. Looks like one of the participants said they can hear us, so that's great. So you can apply your Civil 3D styles in with CorridorEZ, so that way everything that you're seeing is utilizing your company standards. As far as design standards go, CorridorEZ has a settings dialogue that's really in depth and also has a lot of input related to what you want to design, such as K, if you have vertical K values and things like that, or different kind of radiuses that you want to use as a default. There's a slew of settings that we can definitely look at at another time, but yeah, you should be able to find everything that you need as far as your settings go to get you on the right foot.
Thank you,
All right.
Ryan. All right, and the second question is, are all design objects in CorridorEZ compliant with Civil 3D?
Yeah, so the answer to that one is yes. The developing team actually works really close with Autodesk, and really their development happened way back. Even though CorridorEZ is a new product, the framework of CorridorEZ, which is civil site design, has been around for I think even as early as like maybe 2007. So it's definitely been around a while. And that development team is always working closely with Autodesk to pick up any of the latest code enhancements and stuff that they can do to always stay compliant. So yeah.
Great, thank you. And third question we have is, what's the typical learning curve?
So this is a great one. I was going to just say that I just learned it and then I was doing the demo. It almost feels that fast.
This morning, right? This morning. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of a strange experience, because when you see a demo, you can see that it's really rich with a lot of features. There's so much you can do. Do you need to go and use them all? No. So, once you start in the workflow, we're talking probably in a couple of days. You probably have gone through everything so many times that you're already getting a good hang of where you go to do this. It's really when you start getting into something a little bit more technical, if you're wanting to change a target or and really that's a matter of learning something in an hour or two. So the learning curve on this is dramatically faster than trying to learn something as robust as like Civil 3D. This is definitely a lot easier tool set to learn.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely worth it from hours or days to minutes. Definitely worth to learn. And I have another question. I think it's for Alex. Are there any special promos for companies who attended this webinar?
Hey, as always, there's always something special for the people that took the time to listen to us today. So what we're offering is each company, not individual, but each company that attended the presentation today can take a 1-year subscription. Again, that's 1-year subscription of CorridorEZ for back with them to use. We'd love to follow up with you, get your feedback, but we will give you a 1-year subscription. So please contact the folks at MicroCAD, and I'm not sure if that's you, Juliana, or somebody
Yeah,
else.
we will be sending the on-demand recording to all the attendees. So please reply back. Just reply back to that email. It will get back to me, and I will take care of it. So yeah.
That's a good question, Juliana. This was recorded, right? This session.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great.
And also will be up in our YouTube channel. So we will be everywhere with this. And we have another question from Daniel. Do you have single license, multi-machine / user subscriptions, up to 25 user at one time?
So what we have, so CorridorEZ is just a single subscription per user. Now, our larger product, which is civil site design, which we pulled CorridorEZ out from to offer this product individually, but the bigger product actually is offered as perpetual subscription and multi-user network. So then you could have 25 users, first come, first serve licensing.
Amazing.
And I'd like to add to that that it also has a tool space very, very similar to CorridorEZ. So it'd be easy to, I say easy, to pick up with that tool space. So
yeah, and it has all the machine learning AI tools as well.
Okay, so I think we don't have any more questions at the moment. So yeah, again, as Alex mentioned at the beginning, we offer training. So if you want to learn any of these topics in detail, you can always take a custom training with someone in our team. We also offer group classes online. So yeah, be sure to be checking the MicroCAD website for future webinars. We have coming up next on September 13 at 1 p.m. Eastern Daytime, 5 tips for efficient Autodesk account management. And then the day after, same time, we have digital twins in manufacture with the Autodesk PDM collection. We have a very robust calendar for this month, so we expect you to go there and check it out and register for all the webinars you find interesting for yourself. And I want to thank Alex and Ryan, again, the star of the show, for demonstrating all of this in such a special way. Thank you so much for both of you for taking the time doing this. And thank you everyone who attended. We really appreciate it. And we hope you have learned something, and hopefully we got interested in the product.
thank you all.
Thank you, Juliana, too. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.